welcome to the first episode of the Thursday show. I'm Adeline.
And I'm Wineta, and we'll be your hosts for today's show.
These past few months might have been tiring for some of you, but don't worry because we have an amazing new topic to accompany you today.
That's right. Judging by the title of this video, I'm sure you'll have some sort of idea what today's topic will be.
Know yourself. So yeah, it is a very trendy topic among our current generations, which are MBTIs. So Wineta, what do you know about MBTIs?
Right. The Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, or more commonly known as MBTI, is an introspective self-report evaluation that identifies a person's personality type and psychological preferences. The purpose of this assessment is to assign individuals into one of four categories based on how they perceive the world and make decisions, enabling them to further explore and understand their own personalities.
We'll go ahead and explain what these four categories are. Firstly, we have E's and I's, aka extroverts and introverts. When considering people who are introverts and extroverts, it's natural to go straight into the more social aspects of these personality traits. However, they are much more than this. These traits are also defined by their broader response to their environment, which includes other people but isn't exclusively about them.
Introverts tend to be more reserved, which helps them to carefully pace themselves. They value their alone time and are sensitive when reading the environment. Meanwhile, extroverts are interested in engaging with their surroundings. They enjoy pushing limits and taking initiatives. Extroverts tend to love attention and are lively at social gatherings.
Next, we have S versus N, also known as observant versus intuitive. These traits describe what people are most likely to do with the information gathered from the world around them.
Intuitive personality types rely on imagining the past and future potential of what they see. Those with the observant style are more interested in observable facts and more straightforward outcomes. They prefer to avoid layering too much interpretation on what they see. Being intuitive doesn't mean someone can't be practical, and being observant doesn't mean a lack of imagination. They both use their minds and their physical sense as well. The difference is the spin they put on their experiences. It's where their thinking goes after an encounter with their environment.
Next up, we have F's and T's, aka feelers and thinkers. Our third nature scale reveals the extent to which we value emotions or rationality more when making decisions. Does a person tend to use their thinking trait, which relies on the head, or their feeling trait, which relies on the heart?
Lastly, we have J's and P's, also known as judging versus prospecting. The tactics scale, which includes the judging and prospecting personality traits, reflects how people plan and deal with their options they have. But this definition doesn't just concern what individuals write in their day planners. It's much broader. These traits answer questions like, do you prefer spontaneity or certainty?
People with the judging personality trait feel more comfortable when the course ahead is well marked. They would rather come up with 5 backup plans than deal with events as they come. On the contrary, prospecting individuals are much more flexible when it comes to dealing with unexpected challenges. This flexibility helps them seize unexpected opportunities as well. These personality types tend to react to their environment rather than try to control them, helping them to make their own luck in whatever the world delivers.
Right, but that is all in theory. But how accurate are these tests actually are?
To answer that, we have invited some guests to answer some questions regarding their MBTIs. Let's see how accurate these things actually are.
Hello everyone, welcome back. We're now accompanied by 5 of our lovely guests. But before we start today's segment, would you all please quickly introduce yourselves?
Hello, I'm Marilyn.
Hello, I'm Natasha.
Hi, I'm Kyla.
Hi, I'm Yolan.
Hi, I'm Lance.
Okay, so before we begin the actual discussion portion of this interview, I want to hear some of your opinions on MBTIs. Do you believe in them or find them interesting? Let's hear from Kyla first.
I actually have heard about MBTI a lot from people around me, but personally, I don't really have an interest on them, nor do I actually understand about them.
Okay, maybe this interview can help you to understand a bit more about MBTIs. Now let's hear from one more person. Yolan, how about you?
As far as I know, MBTI is one of the tests that we can take to know or show our personality. There are like 16 types of personality that a person is likely to have. I think it is good to know our personality, even it's not 100% accurate. It will help us to get to know ourselves better.
Okay, that's very good actually because you've explained quite a lot, and so today I guess we can prove whether it is accurate or not. But before we begin, let's start by skimming through some of your MBTIs. Firstly, Marilyn, you're an ENFJ, is that right?
Yes, I am ENFJ gang.
Nice.
So ENFJs are also known as the protagonists. They are warm and feel the need to serve a greater purpose in life. Thoughtful and idealistic, these personality types strive to have a positive impact on other people and the world around them. They rarely shy away from an opportunity to do the right thing, even when doing so is far from easy. Protagonists are born leaders, which explain why these personalities can be found among many notable politicians, coaches, and even teachers. Their passion and charisma allows them to inspire others, not just in their careers, but in their everyday lives.
Next, Natasha, you mentioned you're an ISTP.
Yes, I actually don't really know what my MBTI is in the first place, but then like last week I took the test and it turns out that I'm an ISTP.
Okay, so maybe to tell you more about what an ISTP is, ISTPs, also called virtuosos, love to explore the world around them. People with this personality type are natural makers, moving from project to project, building the useful and the superfluous for the fun of it, and learning from their environment as they go. Virtuosos explore ideas through creating, troubleshooting, trial and error, and first-hand experience. They enjoy having other people take an interest in their projects, and sometimes don't even mind them getting into their space. Of course, that's on the condition that those people don't interfere with virtuosos' principles and freedom, and they'll need to be open to virtuosos returning the interest in kind. Virtuoso women are especially rare, and the typical gender roles that society tends to expect can be a poor fit. They'll often be seen as tomboys from a young age.
I'm actually quite interested in the last statement, which said that virtuoso women are quite rare and sometimes viewed as tomboy. Natasha, what is your opinion about that statement? Do you agree, or maybe you have a different view on it?
Me personally, I don't really picture myself as a tomboy, but I do realize that some other people kind of consider me as, I don't know, maybe they see me as a tomboy or something, and I'm actually fine with it.
I see. Well, being a tomboy isn't all that bad, and I think an ISTP is a very cool personality trait. Moving on, we have Johannes, who is an ENTP. ENTPs are also known as the debater. Do you think you can relate to that statement, Johannes?
Yeah, I think I can relate to it.
That's interesting. Okay, so ENTPs, aka debaters, are bold, creative, quick-witted, and audacious. They aren't afraid to disagree with the status quo. In fact, they're not afraid to disagree with pretty much anything or anyone. It would be a mistake, though, to think of debaters as disagreeable or mean-spirited. Instead, people with this personality type are knowledgeable and curious, with a playful sense of humor, and they can be incredibly entertaining. They simply have an offbeat, contrarian idea of fun, one that involves a healthy dose of spirited debate.
Next, Yoan, you're an ISTJ, which coincidentally is the closest one to my MBTI. So you are known as the logisticians, and they pride themselves on their integrity. People with this personality type means what they say, and they commit to doing it. This personality makes up a good portion of the overall populations, and while they are not particularly flashy or attention-seeking, they do more than to keep the society sturdy and stable. In their families and communities, logisticians often earn respect for their reliability, practicality, and their ability to stay grounded and logical even in the most stressful situations.
Lastly, we have Kyla, who is an ENFP, aka the campaigner. Campaigners are true free spirits, outgoing, open-hearted, and open-minded. With their lively, upbeat approach to life, they stand out in any crowd. But even though they can be the life of the party, campaigners don't just care about having a good time. These personality types run deep, as does their longing for meaningful emotional connections with other people.
So, Kyla, would you say that's accurate?
Pretty much, yes.
Right, so now I have a series of questions that I'll ask some of you, and all you gotta do is answer honestly. Simple enough? Yeah. Okay then, first question. How would you react to someone telling you you're not good at your work? A, he or she is so rude. How can they say that to someone? Or B, ask them which part of you is lacking so that you can improve. If you think A is more annoying or you would react that way, raise your hand. Oh wow, okay. Okay. So that's actually interesting. So you think that the person that said that is rude. Why is that?
Of course, that is rude. You can say that better, I think. And saying that to someone is just is inappropriate, I think.
Okay, so the interesting part about that is people with the F personality type, which you actually have it, so they do tend to find A much more rude because how can people say that to someone? So Marilyn, you're also an F personality type, but interestingly enough, you find that you would react to B, which asking them if you think you're lacking in some aspects. Why would you rather do that?
I think they have different perspectives from mine, so I think it's important for me to know how is their perspective.
Okay, next question. Who are you more mad at? A. Someone who works hard to help me do my assignment but forgot to save it and so I have to start over. B. Someone who copies my homework without my permission. If you think A is more annoying, raise your hand in 1, 2, 3. Okay, only Natasha.
Only Natasha. Okay. So, Natasha, you are a T, a thinker. So it actually makes perfect sense for you to find A more annoying because thinkers usually, rationality-wise, because we need to start over, right? If they repeat that. But so most of the T's also answered someone who copies their homework to be more annoying. So actually, Johan and Johannes, you are both T's, but you find someone who copies other people's homework more annoying. Is that right? Yeah. Let's hear from Johan. Why do you find B more annoying?
Since it is our work, right? And if someone wants to copy our work, at least they can talk to us first. They can say it to us for our permission.
I agree.
Last question. Imagine you're hanging out with a close friend, but then your friend brings along someone new without asking you. How will you respond? And this time it'll be an open question. We'll start from Yoan. What do you think?
Okay, at first, probably I don't like him or her because we haven't known each other, right? But if our friend tell us who they are or why they bring her here, I think I can accept it.
So how about you, Natasha?
Well, actually, it's almost the same thing as you would. So it actually depends on the person. Like if I do know the person, I already know the person, then I'm actually fine with it. But if it's really like a new friend, like a new person, then I will actually question like, why do you bring him or her here? Like we're supposed to be together only, right? But then and it also depends on the person's response. If, like, I do judge people on the first, when I met them, so if they're, like, they're fun enough, then, okay, then you can hang out with us. Like, it's an either yes or no, nothing in between.
How about Marilyn?
At first, I will feel like a little bit uncomfortable, but as long as we're hanging out together, I will feel like maybe I should be talk more with the new friends, so I could have new friends too.
And then let's go with Johannes. What do you think?
I think I'm fine with it because I can get close to that people real quick. I guess. I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's just a guessing.
And lastly, Kyla.
At first, I will be surprised, but then I'm actually quite an open person and I will like to try to interact with them. But it also depends on the situation. If it's like a situation where I really want me and you to have our alone time together, then bringing someone over will just be uncomfortable, I think.
Okay, so those are all great responses, and I'm pretty sure since we can't really categorize ourselves, it's kind of normal to feel that way. But now I'll give you two options, and I want you to pick which one you think will be your first instincts. A, you don't want things to get awkward, so you will try to get along well. Or B, you're going to be upset because they should have consulted me beforehand. If you think that you would react with A, raise your hand. Oh, okay. So people that usually don't want things to get awkward, they are feelers because they value their hearts a lot, and so they don't want other people to feel uncomfortable around them. But thinkers would usually get upset because they don't like things out of order. So the ones that think that you would react to was it Marilyn and Yoan, right? And Kyla. Okay. So why would you think you would prefer to react that way, Kyla?
I really hate uncomfortable situations and awkward situations, so I will try my best to avoid that.
Okay, and I think you guys' responses actually correlate with your personalities. Because Marilyn and Kyla, your personality is F, so you don't want things to get awkward and will try to get along well. But actually, Yoan, you're a T, so supposedly if we're following this theory, you should be slightly upset because they should have consulted you beforehand. Okay, so before we close off today's topic, I'd like to hear some of your final thoughts on MBTIs. Johannes, what about you?
I think MBTI is too small, like 16 category is not enough because humans is really unique. I believe that need to be more category for personality types.
So I agree actually. So I think MBTIs are really great and they're really fun to do because you get to know a more dominant side of yourselves better, but I'm pretty sure nothing is really 100% and your MBTI is just one side of ourselves. We are so much more diverse than that. Still, I think it's something really fun to do and I actively encourage people to try it out sometimes.
And that wraps up today's episode. Big thanks to all of our guests for being with us today.
And to our viewers watching, thank you for sticking with us and we'll see you all next time. Bye!
Bye!
Hi, I'm Yoan. Wait. Hi, I'm Yoan. I'm Johannes.
Because I personally like to be with people.